You know, we're usually taught that biology is its own little world. Plants, animals, cells, that kind of thing. But what if that's not even close to the whole story? What if the real key to understanding life isn't just in the cell, but in, say, an atom, or an equation, or maybe even the economy? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the biology you probably didn't learn in school, where all the lines between the sciences just blur and collide.
So let's just ask it straight up. Is biology really just about plants and animals? Well, the simple answer is a hard no. It's time we looked under the hood of the living world and really saw the whole amazing picture. First up, we're going to put on our engineer's goggles and take a look at the physics of life. Now that might sound a little strange, right? But think about it. Every single living thing, from a tiny cell to a massive blue whale, has to play by the fundamental laws of the universe. There's no escaping it. And that brings us to our very first crossover field, biophysics. The whole idea here is using the rock-solid principles of physics to untangle some of biology's biggest mysteries. It's kind of like having the ultimate how-it-works manual for anything that's alive.
Just think about your heart beating right this second. Yeah, that's biology, but it's also a complete masterclass in fluid dynamics and pressure. Or how about a simple leaf just soaking up the sun? That's literally quantum physics in action. Biophysics is what reveals all this hidden physics that's secretly powering life itself.
And trust me, this is not just theory. Biophysics is an absolute powerhouse in modern science. It's crucial for neuroscience, because what are brain signals? They're electrical. And in pharmacology, it's used to design incredible new drugs by creating these perfect 3D models of viruses and then figuring out exactly which molecules can physically lock on and shut them down for good. Okay, so let's peel back the next layer. If physics tells us how things move and function, then chemistry tells us what they're made of and how they react with each other. This is where we step into the molecular laboratory of life.
So, welcome to the world of biochemistry. If you imagine a living thing as this super complex factory, biochemistry is the science of the engine room. It's the study of all the chemical soups, the reactions, and the tiny molecular machinery that makes life even possible.
Every time you take a breath, you're not just getting oxygen, you're kicking off this massive, incredibly complex chemical reaction that powers every one of your cells. And when a plant grows towards the sun, that's a chemical miracle happening right before our eyes. Biochemistry is the science that maps all of this out, molecule by molecule. So here's the really crucial part. Everything you are, from the hair on your head to the thoughts in your brain, is built from and powered by organic compounds. Biochemistry is the study of these literal building blocks of life, things like proteins and, of course, the DNA that holds your unique personal blueprint. All right, time to zoom out, way out. We've gone from the mechanical to the molecular, and now we're going global. It is time to put on our adventurous hat and look at life on a planetary scale. And this is the awesome world of biogeography. I want you to think of it like being a detective for the entire planet. See, biogeographers ask two really simple but incredibly deep questions. Where do things live? And why do they live there? They look at life across both physical space and deep, deep history.
I mean, here's a question that gets right to the heart of it all. Why are there no penguins hanging out in the Sahara Desert? It seems obvious, right? But the scientific reasons behind that obvious answer, well, that's what biogeography is all about. It's the study of life's addresses on planet Earth.
So, biogeographers are out there solving these real-world puzzles. They figure out the precise environmental factors that keep polar bears totally locked to the Arctic. They map out exactly why malaria-carrying mosquitoes are only found in specific warm, damp tropical zones. At the end of the day, they show us how climate and geography literally write the rules for where life can and cannot exist.
So, we've looked at the mechanics, the chemistry, and the geography of life. But how do we actually prove any of it? How do we take a really cool observation and turn it into a cold, hard, scientific fact? This quote just says it all, doesn't it? In the world of science, a hunch, or a guess, or an "I think so," it gets you absolutely nowhere. You need data. Cold, hard data. You need proof. And for that, you need the universal language of math. And this is the domain of biostatistics. You can think of it as the math shield that protects science from guesswork. It's the tools scientists use to design their experiments properly, and this is crucial to make any sense of the absolute mountains of data they collect from the natural world.
And here's exactly why that matters so much. A single experiment, say in genomics, can spit out over 20,000 data points. You can't just eyeball that. You need the power of biostatistics to find the real signal hiding in all that noise and prove, for example, that a new medicine actually works.
Okay, for our last crossover, we're going somewhere you might never, ever expect. We are headed to the world where the laboratory meets the stock market, because, as it turns out, even nature has a bottom line. This really fascinating field is called bioeconomics. It's built on the idea that life itself is a competition for limited resources. And sometimes, especially when we humans get involved, we have to apply a financial lens to biology and make tough decisions based on cost versus benefit.
This table is a great simple example of how it works. So, imagine a scientist develops a brand new type of wheat that grows way faster. Bioeconomics is the tool we'd use to weigh the cost, all the R&D and production, against the potential benefit, like bigger profits and a more stable food supply. It helps us figure out which biological innovations are actually sustainable for the world.
So, let's do a super quick recap. We've seen that biology is definitely not a standalone subject. It is deeply tangled up with the physics of how we move, the chemistry of how we work, the geography of where we live, the statistics that prove what we find, and yes, even the economics of our survival.
So is biology just about plants and animals? Not even close. It's this incredible, breathtaking mix of physics and chemistry and geography and hard-hitting math. I think the big takeaway here is this. To truly understand life, you have to be willing to look way beyond the biology textbook and see the science in everything.